President Donald Trump posted to Truth Social that he had agreed to suspend the bombing of Iran. This came just 88 minutes before his own 8 p.m. deadline, the one he had spent the previous 48 hours reinforcing with some of the most aggressive language of his presidency. Tuesday would be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, he had written. Every bridge demolished by midnight. A whole civilization will die tonight. Instead, he accepted a 2-week ceasefire brokered by Pakistan on the basis of a 10-point plan written entirely by Iran. The 40 days that preceded this ceasefire tell a specific story about what brought the United States to that point. Iran launched 97 coordinated strike waves across nearly 6 weeks, averaging more than 2.5 operations per day. Those waves hit targets in at least 6 countries, including target list including U.S. military bases, oil refineries, desalination plants, power stations, data centers belonging to Amazon and Oracle, port facilities, and a naval vessel at Jebel Ali. The U.S. Embassy was struck. 6 American soldiers were killed and shredded. The power and desalination plants sustained damage. In of Kuwait, since the country was facing an unprovoked attack from a neighboring Muslim country, which we consider a friend, and to which we did not allow the use of our land for any military action against it. Before this ceasefire, Trump had issued 3 separate deadlines. The first, on March 21st, was a 48-hour ultimatum to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. It expired without enforcement. The second, on March 26th, extended the timeline by 10 days. That also passed without consequence. The third was set for April 6th, and it came and went while Iran was launching Wave 97 at a U.S. military hub in Kuwait, a ship at Jebel Ali port, and targets inside Israel. Each time Trump escalated the rhetoric, Iran escalated the strikes. Each time the deadline passed and enforced, it confirmed the same pattern. The economics of this war are central to understanding the ceasefire. Iranian Shahed series drones cost between $20,000 and $50,000 each. A single Patriot interceptor costs between $2 and $4 million. On a single day, Kuwait intercepted 19 drones and 8 ballistic missiles, likely expending over $50 million in defensive munitions against a strike package that cost a fraction of that amount. Across 40 days and 97 waves, the cumulative cost imbalance is enormous. Gulf nations collectively shut in 7.5 million barrels per day of crude production in March, rising to an estimated 9.1 million barrels per day in April. Brent crude surged roughly 59% in March, the steepest monthly gain since at least 1988. Gas prices in the United States reached $4.14 per gallon, up 39% since the war began. The IEA described it as the biggest supply disruption in history, larger than the 1973 oil crisis. The ceasefire terms themselves are worth examining closely. Iran's Supreme National Security Council released a statement claiming that nearly all war objectives have been achieved. The 10-point plan Iran submitted, which Trump publicly called a workable basis for negotiation, includes controlled passage through the Strait of Hormuz, coordinated with Iran's armed forces, the withdrawal of U.S. combat forces from all bases in the region, the lifting of all primary and secondary sanctions, and the payment of war reparations to Iran. These are not terms that restore the status quo. They outline a new regional framework in which Iran retains control of the world's most important shipping lane. American forces leave the Gulf, and the sanctions architecture is dismantled. The United States agreed to negotiate on the basis of the Iran's foreign minister confirmed that ships would be permitted to pass through the Strait, but only under coordination from Iran. That is not an supervised training. The ceasefire is not. Iran's own statement says this does not signify the termination of the war. Negotiations are set to begin Friday in Islamabad. If those talks collapse, Iran has already demonstrated the ability to sustain more than 2 coordinated strike operations per day for 40 consecutive days while keeping the Strait of Hormuz effectively closed. The Supreme National Security Council's final statement included a direct warning. Our hands are on the trigger, and the moment the enemy makes the slightest mistake, it will be met with full force. 97 waves, 40 days. 6 countries hit, 3 deadlines broken. The strait closed for the first time in history, and the United States sat down to negotiate on terms written by the Islamic Republic of Iran. Share this video, because what the mainstream coverage is presenting as a diplomatic breakthrough does not account for the 10-point plan, for who drafted the terms, or for the cost disparity between 97 waves of Iranian strikes and the American defense expenditure required to absorb them. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this ceasefire holds, or is it a 2-week pause before the next escalation? If 97 waves brought America to the table, The question now is what Wave 98 looks like if the talks in Islamabad fail.